Hey everybody, this is my final video pertaining to CALLOUS Invitational 4. Wanted to wrap things up properly, give people some thank yous who deserve it, and talk briefly about the future. So at this point, the tournament is over and has been for a little bit under a week, half a week or so now. The players have been paid out, and we're ready to move on. But this was the biggest and best Callis Invitational Tour that we've ever had. The hype was unreal. The support was unreal. The prize pool was bigger than it's ever been. There were more donors than there has ever been. And overall, I really feel that this tour was even better than any of the previous editions. And it blows my mind that this tour seems to get better and better every year. But that really is the way that it seems. And I appreciate everybody who made that possible. So first of all, I want to congratulate the three money-making players, the champion, the linear curve, second place finisher Undisputed, and third place finisher Ban Manaphy. Linear pocketed 610 US dollars minus PayPal fees. Undisputed pocketed $366 minus PayPal fees, and Ban Manaphy won $244 minus PayPal fees. Congratulations to the three of you, and I hope all three of you choose to play again next year. Now, very crucially, I do this every year, and you guys very much deserve it. I wish I could give you more than just a shout out, but I will certainly give you that. I would like to give credit to everybody who contributed to this tournament. So, we're going to start with the most important people, the donors, because this tour cannot exist without you guys, and you guys came out huge this year. Like I said, more donors and more money than there had ever been in previous years, and way beyond what I ever thought. Not only did we crack the $1,000 mark that I never thought we would, but we actually went well above it with a final prize pool of 1220. The first donor that I want to give a shout out for, and these donors are in the order in which they donated, but the first guy is absolutely Anonymous T, who doesn't want to be known for giving money, so wants to keep his or her identity a secret, and I respect that. But this person came in big not only with the first donation, but with a $300 donation, which also happened to be the biggest donation and way beyond anything I ever would have expected. It's the biggest donation we ever have and possibly ever will receive. And that just kick-started the avalanche of everybody else donating. And that went a long, long way toward us getting the biggest pool that we've ever had. So enormous credit to Anonymous T. The next donation was Alice for 20. Thank you. The Sprinkler for 5. Triangles for 30. We then have another anonymous donation coming in for 20 bucks, which again, I really appreciate. Helps the tour a lot. Thank you. Disno came in for 50, Quint for 10, Dice for 20, Zakaru for 75. Huge donation there. That's quite a bit of real money, and again, much appreciated. Supports the tour immensely. My longtime friend Finchinator, $19 this year. He donated last year as well. Really appreciate that. ABR, who made money in this tour last year, giving some of it back and supporting the tour and continuing to help old gens. Again, thank you very much for your support. $48 from him. My SPL teammates, Dio Fantine and Jacob, they were both on my SPL team, and they both donated here, $16 and $38 respectively. Huge help. Thank you. Play-ins player and up-and-comer in ADV, Mickmer, $52. Thank you very much. Golden, who you're going to hear his name a little bit later, but Golden11535 coming in with 20 bucks. Huge help. Maracata, 10 bucks. El Presidento, $50. Huge donation. Thank you for your support. That's a big boy donation. Alum for 32. Another anonymous donation that we're calling Anonymous D. That is a $5 donation. Thank you for that. Blim, who also donated $200 last year, donated another $100 this year. Thank you. That is a huge donation. KJ Das, 25 bucks. Thank you, Kim. Really appreciate you. I really appreciate your support. Makes a huge difference. Ravin for 5, and then finally Anonymous P and Anonymous W, two final anonymous donations for $10 and $60 respectively. And for those of you who might be keeping track at home, I'm not looking for any credit here, but just in case you're like, wait a minute, that math doesn't add up, You're right, it doesn't. That is because I myself threw in $200, and that's how we got to the 1220. I also want to thank my Discord moderators, Dalrakaije. I'll never pronounce that correctly, but he's known as Poison in the Smogon community. He was probably my MVP moderator, and he posted all the replays for me. This guy was a great staff member. Really, really appreciative to have you. MVP mod for this tour. Thank you so much. Hot Skitty on Will Lord Action, somebody that I work with on Pokemon Perfect, that I've competed against in various side tours. A lot of respect for this guy. Again, very helpful to me. Thank you. Water Mess, another one, up and coming ADVer who's been doing better and better recently. Again, helped moderate the Discord, was absolutely a great presence for this tour. Thank you. I want to thank my narration team, which this year consisted of Disno and Jabba the Griffin, who came back from narrating this in previous years and once again did a great entertaining job. And then new to the narration team this year, Triangles, who was really popular among you guys. You seem to like what he did, and I absolutely did too. And then Water Mess also contributed narration, so thank you to you guys for that. We also had some guest narrators this year. I want to thank the Bulldozer, who I thought did a great job and who I'd love to work with again. Posse G did a guest narration, Zomog did a guest narration, and Vapokuno did a guest narration. Thank all of you guys for taking the time to do that. We have two guys on our research team this year. It's the first time we've had that. That is, again, Golden11535 and Hero. These guys were absolutely huge in helping us provide the best possible commentary. They dug up statistics and they dug up the history of the players before the match. And if we did a good job commenting this year, they're a huge part of the reason why. Finally, people involved in the art for this tournament. We have my girl Broomerage, who also designed the PPL logos. She came in and did the tournament logo for this as well, and I thought she did a really good job, so thank you very much for that. Both Golden and Hero worked on the usage statistics spreadsheet. I think Hero did the bulk of that, but they both deserve some amount of credit, but I think most of it goes to Hero. Very, very on top of the sheet, kept it up to date, very clean, very organized. Thank you, Hero, for taking the time to do that. Sadly Seus came in with a trailer that I hope you guys enjoyed. That's also here on my YouTube. And then Zomog did the introducing the players video that I thought came out great. Thought it was sharp looking. I thought it had cool background songs. I overall have watched that video probably 10 times, and I thought he did a great job with it. And then finally, don't really need to give this person credit because she's like in the room with me, but my wife did the thumbnails for the tournament. So she gets credit too. Overall, I thought we did a great tour, and like I said, I really want to appreciate and thank you guys for everything that you did. This tour is very much a community effort and something that cannot be done without the contribution of many. It's not something I could do on my own, and this tour really has evolved to a point where I think it actually means something to people. I think people actually care about the tour, care about the outcome, and it's just something that is bigger than any individual. It benefits the entire community. It puts on a show for the entire community, and I'm really, really proud to be a part of something that has that kind of impact and keeps a very old gen still alive. So I just briefly want to touch on the future here, and I don't want to get too deep into it. This video is already a bit longer than I had intended for it to be. But basically, whether or not there's going to be a Callous Invitational 5, I couldn't tell you definitively right now. It's going to depend very heavily on whether or not I get picked to manage SPL this year. I'm going to sign up with Jabba. I think I have an even stronger case this year than last year, having won ROA PL and just adding consistency to my success as a manager. I think I've got a shot. I don't think I'm a lock. In fact, I think I'm maybe a coin flip on my best day, but we're going to sign up and we're going to give it a go. And what ends up happening with that is really going to be pretty huge toward my overall future in Pokemon. I don't see myself, if we don't get picked this year, wanting to grind out another year just to try again, of trying to super try hard all these side tours and trying to win all these side tours. I'm also not getting any younger. I'm about to turn 31. I'm married. I work a ton. I don't see myself at this point in my life having the time to just buckle down and put 5, 6, 7 hours a night into Pokemon and into Smogon and just, getting really good at the game and earning my way there like that. Maybe I could have done that at some point in my life, in my early 20s or whatever, but I think if I was ever going to be a top player in Pokemon, I think that probably that time has passed. I don't have the time to put into it to become that anymore. So I'm hoping what I am as a manager, which I do think I'm a top manager, is going to be good enough to get me picked. But as a player, I think that time has come and gone. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm not saying 100% no. There will not be a fifth Callus Invitational if I'm not picked for SPL, but the chances go down significantly. If I do get picked to manage SPL, I can almost guarantee you that I'll be around and there'll be a fifth Callus Invitational. If I don't get picked, it becomes a lot more shaky. I don't know how well or not well I'm going to take it, or what my motivation or interest level in Pokemon as a whole is going to be at that point, but I'll cross the bridge if and when we come to it. But more than likely, if I'm not picked, there will be either one more or zero more Callus Invitationals, and then I will walk off into the sunset. But obviously, I'm going to hope for the better scenario where we do get picked. As far as what I want to do with Callus Invitational, assuming there is another one, I would say that for the most part, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This formula seems to be working. The tournament gets bigger and bigger every year, and it's very clear to me from the private messages that I get, from the financial support. It's very clear to me that people care about this tour and that people want me to keep doing it. The love and support is definitely there. It's not lost on me. So for the most part, you can probably expect something pretty similar to what we've been doing the past couple of years. I think in the selection process is where I want to crack down a little bit more. I think I've done a pretty good job in previous years at assembling competitive, entertaining tours of strong, accomplished players who come from very diverse backgrounds. We've had everything. We've had all ethnicities, all continents, gay, straight, whatever. It doesn't matter. We've had a very diverse crew throughout the years, and we've had a lot of success from, like I said, different backgrounds. The players this year who made money, all three of them, different continents. I mean, and I love that. I love that about the tour. I love that about ADV. It just brings people together. It doesn't matter all the crap going on in real life. It just, Pokemon's Pokemon. But what I want to kind of move away from going forward, if we do have another one of these, I think I want to shift away from air quotes pilots, if you will. I think I want to focus more on people who actually build in Gen 3 as opposed to someone who could just get a team from BKC or from Linear or whatever and just play it well. I think that people that are generically good at Pokemon, such as a really good, Gen 6, Gen 7 player or a newer guy, if they put a little bit of time in, can just copy good teams from somebody else and be competent at ADV. But I don't think that's the same as someone who plays it year round, who actively tries to get better at it outside of the month leading up to Callus Invitational, and somebody who actually builds and actually understands the intricacy and logs the time and the effort. And certainly some of those guys that are just pilots can beat some of the guys that actually do build. But I think as far as deserving to qualify and deserving to be in the tour, I think I lean a little bit more these days toward people who actually play it year round and put a little bit more time and effort in. So I think that I'd like to shift away from pilots in my selection process and go a little bit more toward proper ADVers, if you will. And likewise, a problem that I have every year is that people come out of the woodwork at the last minute. I get messages from guys who go, oh, I play ADV. I helped so and so test for SPL, or oh, when I was in Classic, I played a lot of ADV. I did this and this and this, but I don't hear a damn thing from these people, nor do I see them playing ADV throughout the year leading up to that point. So that puts me kind of in a weird spot because I know that these people are good, but I am not so sure about them with ADV. I take them at their word to an extent, but like, do I know for sure they're better than a proper ADV, or do I know that they actually give a shit about ADV? those always, I don't know, those are always tricky spots for me where I have to kind of weigh the pros and the cons and figure out, do I want to include that person who objectively is really good at Pokemon over someone who maybe isn't as good but definitely cares about ADV and puts the time in. So that's always a tricky position for me. I think going forward, I am going to give you guys even more of a heads up about this tour. I mean, I think about it year round. I'm already thinking about Callous Invitational 5 now, and Callous Invitational 4 just ended. So I think about it year round. I have a list year round. This is something that I put a lot of time and thought and effort into, I assure you. I do not just whip up a list 2 weeks beforehand and see who wants to play. But I'm going to give you guys even more of a heads up next year, like multiple months in advance, and that is going to be your cue to, if you're at all interested in this tour, especially if you are somebody that I don't normally think of as an ADV guy or somebody who is not known as an ADV guy, that is going to be your cue to let me know that you've been playing, you're interested, you care, and you want to be part of this, and we'll go from there. That way, when I get the last minute messages from, the X-rays of the world or the Laxes or whatever, I'm not in the position of whether I should let them play or not let them play. Show me that you give a shit about ADV. Don't wait till the last minute. That will make my decision a lot easier. I guess that's about it. The only other thing that I want to mention to you guys, this is a big one. I'm going to make separate videos about this at some point because I'm going to be putting a lot of time and effort into this as well. But the only other thing that you guys should know about is that we are actually about to start another invitational tour. We settled on the name Permasand Invitational as voted on by you guys. It is very similar to Callous Invitational in structure, 32 guys, double a limb, blah blah. But instead of 3 games of ADV, it's actually 1 game of ADV, 1 game of DPP, and 1 game of Black-White. That's going to be starting soon. It's an invite-only tour. It is a very, very stacked, loaded roster, and there's going to be money on the line for that as well, which we're going to be opening up to donations. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be transforming my server that I use for Callous Invitational 4 into the server for that tournament. By the time you guys actually see this video on YouTube, it will have already happened. And you guys are more than welcome to stick around and spectate that as well. Not only is it going to have really good DPP and Black-White for those of you who are fans of those gens, but there's going to be really high-level ADV as well, including several players who participated in Callous Invitational. So this is going to be a nice little competitive tour to kill the time between now and SPL. The tour will conclude right when we're starting to figure out managers for SPL, but it will be done before SPL actually begins. And then, yeah, I mean, we'll go from there. We'll see if I get picked or not. But that's going to be the plan going forward, so you guys can absolutely look forward to that tour. I am not going to be disappearing into the sunset after Callous Invitational. I'm going to be pretty much keeping my foot on the gas and narrating for that tour as well. We'll be accepting guest narrators, donations, all that. But I'm going to announce more stuff to do with that tour in a separate video. But I want you guys to know that that tour is happening, so absolutely stick around in my channel and we can enjoy that tournament together. And I guess that's about it. But like I said, one final time, Callous Invitational 4, fantastic tour. Really appreciate you guys checking it out and contributing to it. There's going to be a survey that I'm going to let you all know about in the channel, and it's also going to be in the description of this video. So if you guys want to give feedback about your experience and what you would like to see for future Callous Invitationals, please do let me know. And I really hope there is a 5th event next year. In the meantime, please do check out the Permasand Invitational coming up soon. And thank you so much for supporting Callous Invitational 4.